Ahead this morning, move over summer lovin'. It's summer studies. Author Engel is here reading between the lines about helping to improve our children's education. Well, hi there. Thanks for staying with us on Colorado and Company. I'm Denise Plant. And for many students, another school year is finished. I know my 15-year-old was, yes. However, as a parent, it might be a good idea to think about continuing education during the summer months. Author Engel shares Seeds of Tomorrow, and it's nice to see you.
Thank you.
Why did you decide to write this? What was your motivation?
Well, I noticed a shift in my fourth grade classroom, and before the emphasis was really on students and their development, both academically but also socially and civically. And I started to notice a change more around high-stakes testing and more in personalization. And so I wrote the book to help parents really recognize what learning opportunities were and how to create a more student-centered learning approach.
Now, Angela, there are a lot of kids out there that are going to be like, what summer is for video games and hanging out by the pool and with friends, but you say no, parents need to take this opportunity to help them grow. It's a time to help their child.
Well, everybody loves summer, and parents play a really crucial role in their child's education. So this is a great time to have a child-centered approach to learning, and I've developed 4 steps really to help walk parents through that to develop a plan with their children.
And the 4 steps can be found in this book, but also on your website, too.
Yes, they can be downloaded on the website directly.
Good. Okay. And the website is angelaengel.com. You can call 303-908-1954. Engagement is very important.
Exactly. It's really the key to learning, because if we're not engaged, then we're not learning. Right. So you want to start with your child's interests. You know, find out what inspires them, what their curiosity is, what drives them, and create a list from that. We find that kids who are student-driven really have better outcomes in their education.
And you also say, get them out there, let them experience life. Right. You believe in experiential learning.
Well, I think one of the big mistakes that parents can often make is that they sit their children down at the kitchen table with worksheets.
Right.
And we, as human beings, we're sensory, so we learn through our senses: smelling, seeing, tasting, feeling. So if you have a child that is interested in frogs, you know, start with a trip down to the pond and a fishnet. If you've got somebody who's interested in robots, then take a trip to the hardware store or go look at the thrift store and
I totally agree with you that, because like I have 2 boys.
Yes.
So my husband will teach my boys like how to work on a car, but they're still using their math skills.
Exactly.
They're still picking up a book and reading the manual. So like self-taught. So I believe absolutely in what you're saying there.
Everything is connected.
You also talk about how important it is to honor your child.
Yeah, I think, you know, currently in education, a big challenge is that the goal is standardization, every child learning the exact same thing at the exact same way at the exact same time. And what we know is that children are individual, unique learners. And so you want to tap into the individual gifts and strengths of your child. I mean, if you've got someone who doesn't like math, then some of the learning tools that you're going to pick might be a camera, it might be building things.
Right. Gosh, I really like your thought process. I mean, because my youngest son, as I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm going through my experiences with my children. My youngest son, he's the type that can sit there in class and sit at the table and do what the teacher wants him to do. My oldest son, however, needs to be moving and maybe sit on a round ball or touching something while he's listening at the same time. So you're right, every child is not exactly the same. They learn differently.
Well, and some are introverted and some are extroverted. If you've got an introverted kiddo, they might be doing more independent work, but if you've got someone who's really social, then you want to find communities of learning, clubs. You know, if they're into music, you want to look at Swallow Hill or School of Rock or organizations where they can do jam sessions together.
I never thought about that. Is that part of the discovery process and unlimited possibilities you talk about?
Yeah, I think, you know, sometimes we too quickly jump to the outcomes, and what we know about the great thinkers of our time is that knowledge and skills are built incrementally. So you really have to honor the process, ground yourself in the process, and think about, as a parent, what we can do to support that process. So modeling our own learning, finding mentors for them, looking for the shared interests so that families are learning together.
I like that. Families learn together. And on that note, what are you hoping that parents take away from your book?
Well, you know, ultimately what we want for our children is to help support them into tapping into their passions, because that's going to fuel them for a lifetime. And so just following those steps, really work from a place of interest, finding rich, authentic learning experiences, making sure that we're building on their individual strengths and cultivating their individual gifts and abilities. And then finally, supporting that process creatively and imaginatively from start to finish. And that's what leads to lifelong learners. And ultimately, that's our hope as parents for all our kids.
Is that the key to help a child in class? If you have a child that just isn't motivated to learn, and you know this child is brilliant, but I got to hit that one core that he or she is interested in. Is that what you do to help motivate a child?
Well, always start with their interests, because again, if they're not engaged, then they're not learning, and it's a matter of customization. So tapping into what makes sense for them, what's meaningful for them, what drives them.
Well, you are brilliant. Thank you very much for coming on. I can't wait to read more of your book, Seeds of Tomorrow. Author Angela Engel invites you to learn more about her approach to learning. Please visit her website, angelaengel.com, and you can also give her a call, 303-908-1954. That's 303-908-1954. Do it.